8 in the morning, everyone. Just check all the settings. Here we go. I want this. No. So, back in our little color map here. So today it's retexture time. A lot. This pad is too weak. Yeah. Definitely too weak. The poor barbarian stuck on it and it was too weak. So let's do the retexturing and then look for some more lava look like stuff. Maybe. I will see. Anyway, that's the thing why I didn't make them too long and align them too well. Just this one is already looks like, yeah, it is. Okay. Did we get a full circle already? Nice. Sweet. This bright light is killing my eyes tomorrow in the morning. So that way we see it still, but we don't get blinded that much. Over there. Ah, that's one. But the purpose of it is lost if the front corner is not behind it. So yeah. Better, way better. Oh, relief. Way better. Blinded in the light. Do, 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 do. Oh, my bones feel so broken. I started to work again. That real life work. All my fingertips are messed up. Typing is the horror for me in the moment. Who is the made these little buttons for the phone so small anyways? These things are made for children anymore, so I don't know. And I'm not a thick person in a way, so oops, it's disgusting. But the fun fact is, since I am German, but if I try to hit the T when I type in TH or something like this, I most likely end on the Z. So it's most of the time it's the Z. It's a very that's the only fun thing on it. But now I could easily miss on that too. So. Okay. That's much better for I. So alrighty. So now the walls. I mean the color's good, but not. I can't work with it right. So we will change for this area. The other area is a good one, but this area not so much. The purpose of the second blocking volume is easily the doorway, the hallway. I made the blocks of the doorway, especially the lower ones, have this slight overlap, and the slight overlap can cause the demons to get stuck on them easily. It happens to the revenants most often. So the second one is just a slight bit bigger, so all these little edges here are covered, so the demons just could get stuck on the on these corners now, but that is not happening that likely. So so the doorways are more clean and more easy to walk and traverse for the demons then. So yeah, I mean they just block the characters, not the side and anything and stuff. And I may do they block the player too? No, that's the thing. got stuck a little bit on one corner too, so that's what I tried. You can go nuts with small cornered areas, but you always have to prevent sometimes the ridiculousness of it in placing a simpler construction of the geo around an invisible one. I mean, you won't feel the difference in while you're playing, but the quality of life change is noticeable in some point. So it helps a bit. So and technically don't cost the thing. So yeah. That's always the more you flesh out the details, and the more problems everything doing more is causing more problems normally. That's one part. And yeah, have to think outside the box. I'm sometimes too lazy to do it on all my maps and stuff, but the quality change in the maps I did was really noticeable. There are a few, especially in the classic ones, where I most likely just only work with the blocking boxes. Every corner, every misaligned corner can cause a serious problem with stacking enemies or even stacking players. So that's always a thing. And sometimes they just don't want to walk around the corner. If you make them, for example, you can go on and say to ensure even more the way for the AI, you go like this. So there's always this cycle. So they never can walk into this little corner here, yeah, and more or less likely will get pushed through the doors and stuff like this. I did stuff like this in other maps on some point and had some decent results, especially with rushing imps and stuff like this, that you want to come and that are intended to run into the room you are in and through the doorways and stuff like this. You can trick them a bit with these, so it's most likely not noticeable for the player while playing that there are actual invisible walls and corners for the AI, and since you just make them uninteresting for the player and yeah, let them just interact with the AI and the map. So and then important is, of course, yeah, like I said, it's important that they don't block the side and stuff like this, don't block the shots. So and that sometimes, yeah, that's a thing that can happen. So sometimes you think I am standing in the doorway and shoot into the room, and yeah, the shots never come into the room. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing if you have a boss fight, for example, and have this doorway here, yeah, and the player will start to cheese him through the door. Yeah, that's a easy way to prevent people from cheesing this, since I mean, I would hate you since I'm always a door cheeser. That's my number one first tactic I go on when it comes to boss fights. Yeah, where's the doorway? Where can I cheese the boss a bit to get an easy spot and an easy shot on them? But yeah, sometimes these tactics are a bit necessary. And technically a classic, so nearly every Borderlands 2 raid boss or boss can be cheesed by a doorway, as long as you stay close enough to the door. They most likely can't hit you and you can just spam them. So for me that's a real classic cheese, the good one. that's way too bright already, right? Yeah, it is. I will leave them for now. These are okay. The hand in the background is really cool, I have to say. That's a good opening here. This one in the back. There are a few things now. I mean, the first run was technically get something into to get polished and stuff. So we will see. I look for some details to build in for the lavas and stuff. So to give it a bit, work a bit for that too. And yeah. And yeah, but the thing is, like I said, this cut is this greenish, bluish, mint, whatsoever color is cool. I like it really much in this room, for example, since here it is not the main color. The thing is, here is way more diversity with the textures and the colors, with the red on the floor and stuff, or with all the black parts here in the wall, which give it a freaking cool contrast and stuff, and work out really, really well. But the problem is, I want to avoid the high grade of diversity and detail in the blockings, since I want to keep the block count as small as possible. And but yeah, then this color gets too dominant, and then it loses. For me, it loses too much, and it's too hard to work with the contrast in a way. And but I guess if with this darker gray black thing combined with the lava or stuff like this, I mean, this could go even darker, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if or if not. I mean, that's pretty close to the same. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, of course it's the same, since they are overlapping right now. They don't. Am I blind? I don't see. There we go. Pretty gray. Yeah, that's even better. Pretty close to black. I mean, that would be the next thing. With black walls and stuff. I mean, that would be max contrast and stuff, and of course that looks badass. But I still try to figure out some slight color mix in between to stand out a tiny bit more from all the other. I mean, like I said, black and red or black and lava and stuff like this always work. But it would be nice to find a solution bit close to, but diverse and stuff. Give it that's the thing. Void Runner had always badass color combinations. I never would choose, but I always admired. So that's the thing. But yeah, I normally don't target weird color combinations, since I'm always happy and surprised by playing other mappers' maps, and that's one thing I enjoy the most, exploring other geos. So that's a thing, and that's most likely I don't try to adapt them anyway. So I mean, there are of course details and stuff I implement on my side too, since they are actually fitting. Or one more. Yeah, I will do more accent and stuff, definitely. The thing is, I know that the thing is what the big bricks have for me have one problem. The thing is, since I'm normally used to build the basic layout, then the basic details, and then implement all the texturing. The problem with these is that you have, as soon as you have two sliders and the bloom slider, which is a nasty one too, of course, since bloom always is good, and decals on them. But if you have these, you have to change each of the three parts. Color paths don't get the max slider to align via the stick and stuff, and that takes double and triples the time you need to ensure the color. That the thing is, you can find your sort of color of choice by going on these and figure out what numbers you need and stuff, but then you have to type in every number, and that can really drive you crazy. You are really long on texturing that sometimes I had in my maps. I made a complete color change all over, and it took me days, really days, not hours, days. I mean, I was satisfied with the finished product then, but yeah, that's the thing. Therefore I really have to be really sure what color will be the final one. So I do this once in the complete overhaul, and no, I don't have to do it again, or most likely I won't do it again anyway, since screw it. Yeah. That's the point where I would say, if I would be paid for it, I would do it all night long, all day long, of course, but just for fun, the fun gets lost a slight bit, just a slight bit, in just doing the same, opening the menu, switch over, tick 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 tick, since there is no fast way. I mean, even the typing of the numbers, you have to open so many menus, and you go nuts. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And I am patient when it comes to building, more patient than when it comes to playing in a way, but not that patient. I care a tiny bit about time sometimes. But yeah, like I said, I had in mind to work with these, and I'm pretty sure I will work with these as soon as I know what color and for what and so on. But yeah, the lava things I'm thinking of, and there's still no decal work. The main goal was, after building 12 hours and coming up with one complete room on my own, I really wanted to leave the resource space and the creative space, I would say, to you guys too, in a way, since it's a collab, and of course I can pull off a map for my own, like I did so often before, but if I am pushing too much, which I do already, since I mean, I don't expect any one of other to pull in such time bombs like me. That's the me thing. So I can't expect that in the amount of stuff implemented in collab maps is slightly the same in a way. I mean, I had ones with Void Runner and Wadster together. The optimal penetration stuff was pretty even, but okay, that actually was my second custom geomap, my third, let's say. The first custom geomap I did was actually the Toxic Jump, and right after that it was the first classic stage, which got the attention of all the custom geo community in a way directly, since I immediately started to build classic maps in the grid room and not in the preset modules and stuff, and build it up from the ground with everything made by myself. And that's why everyone wanted the classic maps of mine. So, and then I came and started to build modern textures in between. So yeah, the penetration was originally meant to be a complete classic. So what I actually wanted to make a collaboration classic map. That's why his part is classic, but no other part. So it was a bit line of misunderstanding. So in the end, I really am mad about myself that I didn't pull it off in a classic way. But the main room already was modern textured by Watsdam, and I like this dark gothic look so much with all the stuff you can do with the modern things, like the lighting and everything, that you have to completely overthink your lighting thoughts with the classic textures, cause the walls won't be affected by the light sources you pull off, but by the way the brightness of the map, the coloration of the texture is handled. So you really control all the map lighting in a classic textured map by the walls brightness and coloration. So if as brighter you go, also with really these, as more you go up here, as brighter the map will be, and the same with dark. And so this is your brightness slider for a classic map, where you can determine how much you will see on a map or not. So that's why most likely if you don't you mix, for example, the textures with classic textures, you always have to keep in mind that the brightness adjustment is to be done by sliding up and down on this. Otherwise it will stick out like a bright light source or something like this. That way you can make these classic texture of the light source, for example, to get more shiny and stuff like this. And technically to build shadows you really have to have several blocking volumes and go with down with the slider on each to make a typical classic pixel lighting in a way. And yeah, but that's not really practicable in SnapMap, of course. Yeah, I'm happy that there are the classic textures. Yeah, but if you really want to go classic, you really have to go to GZDoom and stuff like this and edit and script your maps the old-fashioned way, the good way, and have all the classic stuff, all the classic sprites of the enemies, of course. Since yeah, it looks nice, but for me, even the sounds, the classic sounds, especially on the AI, absolutely don't work, since they have their own sounds and on top the other one, and it doesn't feel right. The pickup sounds and stuff like this, or the death sounds of the player, more or less, they work in a way, but most of the AI sound overlaps in a weird way. It's not feeling right in my opinion. So if ever intend to make a classic map, avoid the AI classic sounds. So, or use it more or less just for specials in between, let's say cutscenes or anything, I don't know. Therefore maybe, but slider please. So, yeah, thank you. Picky freak. This one is actually not needed anymore since I closed the wall already. Let's save some blocks. No one sees this one anyways anymore. And one behind is gone too. There's this. Or did I need it? Nope. Nope. Yeah. would be technically, but yeah, I figure out how to build on the other side the wall that high that there is not a real transition over the skybox, I guess. So the thing is, the lower thing is cool, but I prefer to change it around so it's aligned higher, not lower. For the look from above is better, in my opinion, than if it is standing out like this. But the texturing is cool. That's okay. That's a good start. Therefore, these aren't aligned well either. Okay, that's okay. So to get this corner here, this little corner from beneath, not upstairs, and a few corners to polish in the second thing. It's always a must, of course. Yeah, you can pull off and push a map over hours as long as your working flow isn't decreasing that much. You can go nuts as long as you want in a build, but pulling off a complete build in one session is ridiculous, and you always have to come back and go with a fresh eye on the thing and really have to oversleep the decisions you made in some point. Since yeah, you will stagger, and the quality of the creative quality is definitely going down over too many hours. Have to refill the creation pool of your mind. Or you get real good dope or something like that, I don't know. But then it gets tricky since you really start to don't care about too much stuff. Or something like this here. This is, for example, then a good start. So if you know you want to change the color palette, keep it for your next attempt. So that way you come into the map and can start with some low tier work in a way and get warmed up for everything. Oh, sniper! What, you have an idea, but you can start it? What's the cause that makes you not start it? Most likely time and that other project. I mean, it's tricky. I often work on 2 or 3 projects at the same time, since if you realize that you get too many good ideas but not working for the one project, it's actually interesting to start directly, start the second one and just flesh out the ideas you get while building the other one, and that way sometimes you easily manage to pull off 2 maps in a row. That's what happened on my side, for example, when I was publishing stuff and close to the next day or day over I was publishing my next map, so most it was the modern stuff and some classic stuff, since and when the head is working you come up with so many stuff to implement in the map and to keep it a bit clean when it comes to style and topic. The best thing is open up a second map and flash the second block of ideas out there to keep them, but and bring them to good use later on. So that's. I really like the lighting on the frames here. I have to say, these look nuts. Every time I look at them, I really love it. That's the start of the details I transported from the other module over here. So when it comes to the details, I definitely will check out the next room and bring over a few things to get more cohesiveness in here. So like these combis, for example, with these textures and the decals transferring over. And I'm a total fan of the way it was this corner. I think it was in this area. These walls are great. These will find their way into the other room for sure, since these are nuts. That's the badass combo with the gory shitty stuff and things like that. These are great. And since Finch is bit losing the track on this map, which I can understand. Sometimes you come up with some basics and don't know what to do next and stuff. That's when I always think of, let's search for someone who wants to make finish my map. So that's the thing. The Toxic Nightmare by Simon Siller published then later on was I had a build. I managed to build 3 modules full of interesting toxic custom geo stuff and things like that, and but I absolutely didn't know how the map flow should be and stuff like this, and Silla pulled it off better than I could expect it, but exactly the way I wanted to have the map in the first place, but I couldn't figure it out for myself. It was I've seen there is potential in a way, but I didn't see the actual potential of it. So yeah, of course, the Doom Who series is his little baby, and it's a ridiculous, it's a great series. It's the complete style of it is something else. I really like it. There are few minor balance issues that make it a bit strange in a way, actually, but sometimes and stuff. But that works really well with the really strange design he has in the map too. So that there is some really nice synergy in the build and the way the map plays and stuff like this, and it's very quantum. So I really like his maps. I really like. I really can absolutely see his creative intention in doing stuff, and what he had in mind and what he wanted to pull off. And if you go with the right eye on his maps, yeah, you will see the meaning and the purpose he put in. Like the towers, I'm the biggest fan of the Towers of Conspiracy, even though the map has such bad recommendations in a way, yeah, but when I was on this map, I was sold. This was actually my map. I got sold to finish work. I immediately subscribed to his channel when I saw this, since there are so many ways, so out of the norm you would normally see in a snap map, but totally in my kind of way. Yeah. This map combines so many interesting things for me, like the tower. I always feel in a mix between Gremlins, Die Hard, and anything when it comes to film references, even though there are technically no real references to these, but I always get a little back vibe, so memory vibe. It's cool, and yeah, that's the thing, and I really love his work. So that's the thing, to work around all these things he already placed in here will be a lot of fun. And I really tried, I guess, to jump into his maps in sometimes. So on a stream, like I did it in a way on your zombie maps, and see how my attempt on polishing can maybe push the performance and the quality of the map even more. So, and he either may implement it for himself, or we find a solution with republishing or something like this, or not. I mean, I'm not saying it, but the thing is, there are so little minor complaints on my side, which just come when it comes to the little geo clippy thingies and stuff like this, which I can understand people may struggle with it. So, but yeah, it's a shame on a map if you have a big clipping and blinking geo part, and just caused by a little misalignment of the geo, since no one could ever tell me that it's impossible to prevent it. If it were like this, yeah, all my 50 maps or 30 maps I published, I should have the problem, but no map of mine has this problem, not one. So that's the only thing I really would say is I would say is yeah, that's the thing I really know the best in Snapmap when it comes to the geo. Everything else, when it comes to texturing and work with decals, everything else is there are people that are way better than me in this. But when it comes to blinking geo, it's really me, Voidrunner, and Pigdog. Okay, the goat is the first now. It's Pigdog, Voidrunner, and me, so that's better. Yeah, my manners. Sorry for that. Too early in the morning. Are the only people I know, and the only maps I played where this is not happening on the map, since these are together with me the people who figured out to prevent it and do it. All three of us are that picky with when it comes to geo crossings and alignments of the corners. Yeah, then it's crazy. But in a way you have to be. That's if you are a world modeler, texture, I don't know. You know what I mean? A world artist or environmental artist. That's the word I was looking for. And environment. Oh my God, it's too hard this word. The EV artists. Yeah, that's a better one. Then of course you want to control every bit of anything in your map, in the layout and stuff like this. Every line of sight is important to you then and stuff. Even every shadow, but shadows are Pigdog's thing. He is the master of using the module lights and stuff to perfection in a way. He came up with once, and that's the sad thing, that you can't place here AIs that high in a module without getting them go nuts and crazy or do literally nothing. But since the light source it's not directly on top of the module, it's a little bit closer, you always see the shadow, or not the shadow, but the glow. So the lighting is around here, the fourth quarter down around. That's the max light setting. And if you want to cast, for example, have a ceiling that casts extremely good shadow and stuff like this, he showed it some day in his stream. So if you ever stumble over a stream by Snapped when it comes to building and stuff, always watch it. Always watch it. That's Pigdog when he's working on stuff or is showing off what he's doing. Then you will see the most ridiculous geo, maybe in the moment next to mine. So when it comes to these things, yeah, people often compare us in style, since yeah, at the moment it comes to dark environmental atmospheric custom geo, yeah, do both the same. They're both the same, of course. And but oops, oh come on, that's lucky. That's really lucky. So you see the thing where if you go here, then you can work with very low effort to get the max out of the module's lighting. Yeah, as you see, now these little small thingies cast these extreme big shadows over there already on the floor, and he is the one who is aligning all the build exactly on the shadow he can cast with the module itself. So that's why Pigdog Max have such a great atmosphere just by 5 blocks and the light source. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you always can keep in mind. So that's why you always get a real intense feeling when it comes to the atmosphere on a Pigdog Max. He really knows how to pull off the crazy lighting shit and stuff like this. I mean, I've learned a lot about that tool, of course, by him, and of course work with the same ideas and textures around, since I always wanted this. Even in my first map there are elements like this when it comes to casting shadows and stuff, or get an interesting spin on the environment and stuff like this. But he's nuts. He's crazy when it comes to this. He's actually building on a second Tricks and Traps remake. The first one was crazy, and the next one, even so it's the same map, it's so diverse in his rooms, and stuff, and he's pulling off, I wouldn't say a better version, but a crazy one again. So and you see it's his favorite Doom 2 map, for example, and of course, yeah, if you have a favorite, yeah, you know it right, and you can work with the atmosphere, you can create with it even more, and yeah, that's crazy. And but yeah, it's I hope he will publish it in one day, so others will see it again. Because I'm pretty sure, since even though it's Tricks and Traps and there are some parts looking close to the old version, I'm pretty sure it is a complete new version, and he came up with some complete new, or I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe it's just a big update on many rooms. That could be too. I'm not sure about that, since yeah. But I wouldn't blame anything on it if it was just an update, since yeah, update means better normally, and in this case definitely it does. So that's the thing what I wanna do. And now if the middle one is missing now, that's a shame. I actually thought that before I started to go on this map again, to make this one a long big tunnel with these, but yeah, we can do this anyway. It would be more easy if I had the middle part, since I could lengthen them out a bit easier, but that's not a real problem, of course. So okay, this little part is done. There is one. You see, I knew it. And you are the good one already. Nice. Maybe I'm in the mood for changing the doors and optimize the doors a bit better, but it's a tough thing, since the angle I managed to build with it is pretty tight connected to the way the blocks are connected into each other, and yeah, to get the right look from every angle is tricky, at least for me right now. the problem when you come up with forms and styles that have a very random and not so fleshed out planned origin. Especially geometry wise, as more abstracted the origin, the geometrically origin, I don't know how would you say that? I don't think there's even a word in German, so yeah. Most likely there is a word in German, since Germany has 5 words for one thing, and yeah. But so the thing is, I started already with this pole here to align it like this, and for some reason I like the detail that comes out of these, but it's not working. It's absolutely not working as it should. It's this tiny bit too much or too less detail. That's the thing is with knowing what you want from the map before. That's the point. Yes and no. I mean, I had my best work is the product of both ones. So once I just to start and go nuts and see what it will be, went to be my best work and stuff I really fleshed out and thought, okay, make it like this is stuff I like the most, since yeah, of course the control you have when it comes to fleshed out or planned out projects is undeniable. There's nothing better than a proof of concept for yourself, so or a managed a concept man actually do your thing, and then you can ensure the synergies of gameplay and build, of course, even more. And but that's the thing, since it's the hobby thing. I like drawing and painting too, for example, especially drawing. And the thing is, of course, you have ideas and stuff, but most of the time it's just sit down with a pencil and a paper, yeah, and just look what the hand and the head is coming up with and stuff, and build on these things then. And yeah, the creative part and the relaxing part in mapping actually is see what it will be and so on, and just try to keep the workflow constant, and then it is a thing for itself. But of course, like things like this here in a way make it important in a way to plan and flesh out stuff. So I have, of course, all the time in mind to make this a boss fight arena on one side. That's why the layout is in a circle, is in a way is in a circle to make it more possible for let's say the attack pattern and stuff like this when it comes for the boss, or the way you can manage the boss fight, since normally I wouldn't build a circled arena. Circled arenas are pretty boring in a way, since it's as more diversity you have in the route you can make through the map, through the room and arena, the more interesting the flow will be, since yeah, you can the AI can't catch up with you. Don't run in circles around with the AI in your back or something like this, and you can approach way more opportunities for different attacks and stuff. But for a boss arena, for example, this will be, and I still have in mind to implement the lava. I think of cracks in the floor, something like this, so make that make a slight thickness in the floor and build cracks like I did in the classic 10 or something like this with the classic textures. But yeah, doing this is a resource management. That's why I said, yeah, we have a functioning solid build here now and literally nothing in it. So even my placeholders I got more now there are even more placeholder demons and all this lineup. These were just so I have to can check on what will they do on the higher platforms and things like this. But yeah, it looks like I have to look for this. Yeah, the thing is, I'm still not sure what the boss, what you had in mind for a boss in a way. That's the one point. Want to make a custom boss placed in one corner and a pattern of attacks in a way, or want to make a typical badass of hell with some nice shiny fire glowing badass ass coming out of his poopy ass. I don't know. That's. I mean, I can maybe. I thought I just for fun implement my first badass of hell with his 2 minions to just see what happens since he has his little fire and stuff, and his 2 revenant minions did a very good job in keeping you busy as long as you try to avoid the Baron's attacks and stuff like this. And the synergy between the minions and the Baron was pretty good, so there was no chance in damaging the Baron without healing the minions, and other way around, so you couldn't kill him without killing the minions first. I balanced that out very well, and maybe I'll see if I'll do some testing with stuff like this. But I kind of wanted to avoid the boss fight coming to my side since I'm not good at this. I mean, I have some ideas, but the problem is I know how much work the pattern of the attacks will be. Actually, at the really good looking ones and stuff like this, and I mean, yeah. I mean, since it is a collaboration project, what I mean, the most important thing you have no one of us or who is doing a collaboration map is forget, it's not about how much actual work is in the map. Yeah, it's about the combination of ideas and the discussion of the thoughts and the fleshing out of the stuff that's ending in the map. So of course, if one is struggling in building block by block, yeah, and the other one is good at it, yeah, and of course the one that is good at it and even has fun with it, yeah, can place and build it into the map, yeah. The same is, yeah, I can come up with a ton of good ideas when it comes to logic and mechanics and stuff like this, or I can give my thoughts on them, but to really implement them is nearly impossible for me, since I absolutely don't know. I even don't know some knots or things. Yeah, I know that's possible, and in a way in which direction you have to control it with the logic, but I'm not able to implement it in a way. Yeah, so. But I wouldn't mind if anyone else would do it and as long as we are on kind of the same page with the base idea in the end or stuff like this, or find the best solution in the discussion. That's the thing. Yeah, of course I'm always open-minded for better ideas, and if when all parties agree in it, of course I'm the last one who says nope. I wouldn't even mind if anyone would come, I don't like this arena, come, let's delete it and start with a new one. Yeah, of course, then we do. I mean, I don't have a problem with this. That's the fun part in collaborating in maps. Yeah, the way you can come up with something completely out of your comfort zone and stuff like this, and really, yeah, pull off some nasty shit. I mean, there is always a touch in things that most likely will show the part you take in the building stuff, and yeah, but like I said, there is no problem in a way, or no one should think of this is work all done by this person or this person, because like I said, in the end, the main influences for my complete arena in a way started with the room before, which is the big part. The core idea of this whole map is based on this thing Fincher Dollar made, for example. Now, yeah. So he has the complete influence all day long, on all the time, to the main part of this map. Even so, he is not coming up with too much more than setting up the basics. But it's the same. It's important like this. Yeah, the thing is that's why I didn't do that much detail right now. We are in a good spot already still, so I mean the memory and the objects will make no problem. The next 10% of it, yeah, the network of course, but that's the thing, that here is the lighting and the adjustments we can do and stuff like this will eat up the network in the most, for example. I mean, I keep the network since it looks like the co-op options are not really necessary, but since I really wouldn't try to pull it off anyways, since especially when it comes to even more custom settings and mechanics, it gets really crazy for multiplayer. So you have to align each for everyone. So that's why I realized it in my 4-player deathmatch maps, for example. I had to recreate everything 4 times, for example, and still make it had to ensure that it is working for each one individually, and that's not. It's so hard to test anyways too. Yeah. I mean, okay, for us now a co-op map would be possible to test. I guess there would be more chances. And okay, we could make some shoutouts and catch us some test subjects for the map and stuff like this. But even then, it is so hard to figure out when. Well, most of the time, I have had a problem when it comes to co-op, for example, yeah, that the problems don't occur on my side, but on the other side. And then you have to think, okay, you really have to figure out what is happening. Then you have to change it, then you have to set up a new test session in a way with more players and so on, and hope the best that it is working, or not even worse. And this is taking for everything you want to implement in the map, every fucking thing, from start to end, and that's over and over, technically over and over. So to ensure a functional custom mechanic based map is it's ambitious, I would say, but technically really not manageable in a way. So I mean, the time effort and the coordination for it is pretty rough. Then you haven't found a solution yet. When there are problems, troubleshooting gets ridiculous, gets really ridiculous. If not, I mean, I had several runs, for example, to get my tiny deathmatch logic perfected in a way that it is now, let's say it's functional, and it's by far it's not perfect, but it's working, it's running, and it's doing the thing I kind of want for it from it, so on. But yeah, like I said, I had some sort of here kill streaks in mind, for example. So but just the vocal lines and stuff. So like the rampage, godlike, etc. You know from Unreal and from Quake Arena and stuff. The classic things have I just made, but even that is not too easy to do. Custom settings for capture the flag can start make trouble in a way too when it comes to more players. There you can end up player 1, 2 and 3 work fine, but 4 is going nuts and doesn't work in any way or something like this. There's so much possibility that can go wrong, since the practices aren't very scarce. There are not many people that came up with co-op stuff. Busyman ensured always a co-op function in his map and stuff when it comes to, but the custom settings when it comes to mechanics was not so high, I would say. He really stood to the basic mechanics and just implemented difficulties, for example, in his maps. But even there you see he had to make compromises when it comes to the way the map was providing the player with pickups, for example. So he had to, even so he didn't want to make things respawnable and stuff like this, which can be exploited in single player even more than, but to switch there it's too much. That's not the purpose of SnapMap is of course making co-op maps, but more in a real simple way, or arena PvP like sort, than in fully fleshed out boss fight maps where you can really go nuts. I mean, Justin did a lot of stuff like this with the Terra Christian Jammers, but even he had the problems in between the updates to get it run again, and of course we found the mistakes, since these are the Doom Wiki got actually the nope. Addressed I wanted to say, but yeah, and come on, nope, yes. But yeah, co-op is, and for nowadays it is pretty not doable on a PlayStation anymore. So I'm not sure what it is. I think it's connected to the size of the data on the server and things like this, since there are so many millions of maps. Yeah, technically, I mean, I would say they should reboot it in a way and clear it from all the stuff, but I never would. Of course, everyone and if it is not such a bad map, except achievement maps, of course. Achievement maps have their purpose to get the achievement and are never meant to be a map in any way. But these are actually the killer of SnapMap in a way, I guess, since they wanted to push people into at least get a look in SnapMap. They made achievements connected to it. So if you want Platinum in Doom, you need to do the SnapMap thing and publish one, and that's actually filling up everything with the maps, since all the achievement maps that thankfully are assigned as achievement maps by many people, and you don't stumble over stuff that is named and titled in a well way, I would say, and you end up in this single one room starting base room with the end right before you. But all these shouldn't be on the server anymore. Yeah. Of course, to filter them out and delete all them from server side, from provider side, yeah, and you can't pay anyone to do this, to go through all the maps and look for which map is this, yeah. And that's the poor thing, since even if the some maps are really low in quality, you can say, you never know who made it, yeah. And if it is the little 5-year-old Timmy, yeah, who was really happy to connect 5 modules and place 5 demons into it, yeah, he could shoot with a shotgun, yeah, and could say that's my map, yeah. I never wanted to delete this little map, yeah, as shitty as it is, of course, yeah, but you never know what people, how people are connected to the stuff they create, since creations always tend to be very personal for people, yeah, even though it is the worst shit ever on earth, yeah. And there is no way you are, I would allow in a way to take away the personal stuff of the people that come up with is, since like I said, even the experience to have a published 3D world, yeah, technically everyone else could play in a game you love the most, yeah, even though it is the shittiest one on the whole server, yeah, it gets so much personality then for the one, and so much meaning, and that's technically the important part of creative tools in a way, yeah, to give people the chance to be creative for themselves and for the servers or for others. And yeah, but yeah, that's the thing I'm coming up with. What most likely is killing the servers and the publishing, since I see it when it comes to saving alone, yeah. Saving on my side on the hard drive is not a problem, but saving on the server is very tricky already, so, and that's what caused the server is getting cramped. It's really full packed. There should be open servers, private servers you could rent in a way. That would be the best, since, yeah, therefore you could maybe get a little funding in the hardcore community, yeah, and do it like the old clan servers, for example, yeah, where the hardcore Snapmap community, yeah, has its public, his private server for it, and even the open, it would of course would be even better if it would be to would be opened up for the people who could really crank up and polish the bugs and stuff like this, or implement even new stuff into it, new textures, new everything, yeah. The so long wanted cyber demon and the thing, for example, should be possible too. Like the summoner found his way into Snapmap too, yeah. And there is still not the main campaign cyber demon, but in the classic maps, when it comes to Tower of Babel, there is this lower, I would say, cyber demon with a lower rate of mechanics, since he has just his rocket launcher like a classic cyber demon, yeah, which would be enough for most of the people. No one would complain about that too soon, I would say. Yeah, but yeah, it will break the game, of course, in many ways. There is a big reason why the cyber demon is not in Snapmap, since the AI is tuned down for Snapmap and made more functional in many ways, and the way the AI is working with the normal grid is the next reason, most likely. So the cyber demon would cause so many issues on so many maps and crash so many maps, since people don't understand what they can do and should never do with oversized demons anyway. So, but on the other hand, there would be the few maps with the cyber demon that would work really good and would be running on in a way that is actually would be fun, I guess. So I mean, we have static custom bosses that work very well in what they do. So these guys would figure out how to get a big sized cyber demon that is actually be walking around, get working in the map. Not in every room, of course. It's a thing that has to be prepared and worked around with much effort, of course. Yeah, but people would love to do it, for example. Really, of course, they cry for it all the time. Yeah, I mean, I know for sure if it would be implemented, if they had done it, yeah, half of the people that cried so hard for the Cyberdoom would be so annoyed by the bugs he causes and stuff like this, and would say, what's this trash and shit and everything, yeah, and after that no one would realize, yeah, that's why we didn't want to implement it, my friends, yeah. Now you cry how shit it is and how many problems it caused, yeah, but up before, why not, it's okay, we just bring it, yeah. It's always the same. Wow, what the fuck. No, redo it again, thank you, stupid me. That's what I want to do. That's the thing, when it comes to so repetitive actions like retexturing all the time and talking, there's the point where your brain is turning off completely from your doing and stuff, and your muscle memory is leaving you. It's ridiculous. So there's no what's it, response from your brain to this and back. It's nice. I feel like a brain zombie right now already. Like I said, that's the thing here. All this retexturing. I like to build up a lot of stuff, and if as soon as I'm sure I want to change the color in a big scope, yeah. I mean, I would do it twice and 3 times, but therefore I need the right preparation and the right mood. And I have to say, after a very well sleep and with all the aching bones right now from the work of the last 2 days, it is really satisfying just to change a bit of color and start up the day easily. I mean, I started in 8 in the morning right now, so let's see when it ends, so hopefully not too late. I mean, we can maybe we make a new record, so remind me on what I said right now when it is Sunday evening, since then I have to sleep actually to be fit on Monday for work. Even so, I had to break a bit in the middle of the stream then, since yeah, my fridge is empty and stuff like this, and I'm pretty sure I will be hungry in 2 days, so there is no way in streaming to Sunday from this on now. That wouldn't be. But we do this one time. I actually want to do this, so most likely before October, since then I'm switching back to my actual real apartment, and there is no flat internet, so that's the thing. That will be the point where, not on the socials, but especially when it comes to long streamings and sessions, won't be the case, since they get too expensive then for me, since we hotspot and stuff like this, it's not working, or it gets too expensive definitely, and I will come and look for a stable internet connection in the future, but this can take some time, since there are some costs that are way more important I have to come up with in the moment, and yeah, I'm not the richest person on this planet, so that's an interesting one. The thing is, the transition is absolutely not working anymore, so but yeah, that's I will figure it out how to make it, I guess, that it fits. These are okay, for example, that's a good thing. I mean, the lights, yes and no, that's the thing, how traditional, let's say, medieval we want to stay, or how far we want to go in the mix of tech and gothic. That's the thing. So I mean, I'm open-minded for everything. I like mixing tech with stuff, something else. So that's the thing. I mean, this is very close to. This is the hard edge of. I maybe change this texturing here too, so that it's not looking too techy, but metal. Yeah. Like I said, that's the thing. Wasn't sure for myself. I mean, I'm always go for the mix Quake look. Since I just recently saw some old Quake footage that if you want to really see where my style is coming from, it's actually Quake 1 and Quake 2. Yeah. Since SnapMap provides exactly the tools to build a Quake map. Yeah. The typical things the old id engine was providing is actually the stuff you can easily do in SnapMap. So if you more or less, I mean, elevating is another thing, but yeah, actually everything else when it comes to placing the geo is what they had in as possibilities in Quake and Quake 2. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, that's the thing to figure out so on some point. I guess Finch has some idea since I mean he had some Ragnarok reference thingy, and I mean that's so absolutely not my knowledge or background. There's no knowledge in the background on my side really to come up with this. I mean there's a slight knowledge, and I technically know where I can get references for some more Viking Nordic look, and not only Skyrim. I mean Skyrim would be a good one too, of course, but I actually talk of real sources of fundamental knowledge to this. But yeah, that's the thing. I kind of wanted to leave out my part in the first place, so and leave it up to the more story and overall to the more talented guys like you. Yeah, I always amused about my stupid simple ideas I come up with when it comes to story or other things. So the only good thing is that my builds are that weird and abstract that they kind of tell you a own story, and that story is another one for everyone that is exposed to my work. So, but that's the thing. Even on my drawings, I can draw something and 5 people see 5 different things, and everyone likes it for something else. Yeah, in a way that's achievement accomplished. So if you can make 5 people happy in 5 different ways with the same thing, something has to be right with the thing. So that's the thing. When you always, as a creator, have to get confident in the work you do. Of course, you always will see the mistakes or the problems with it, but when so many people or many others enjoy and like your stuff, then it has to be something right, and that's the thing you can be proud of and rely on and get confident on, even though it's not the perfect thing I want. Yeah, of course. I mean that's the thing, but every skill has his counterpart in a way, and everyone has a certain way to express himself normally. If a person has himself by doing artwork like here, 3D modeling or something like this, or in a way, the expression finds its way into the product, definitely. The the biggest thing you need to have in creating anything in art direction, yeah, is the passion for it, and that you want to express yourself in a way, and then it will happen, and then there are people that will see stuff. Of course, you have to be open-minded for some stuff, yeah, and the interests have to be there. Yes, you won't be the mainstream art guy then, of course, yeah, but people who really are into the topic and stuff will definitely always find your intention in the way in the work. That's a given thing, and that's the foundation of the confidence you always have to have in being creative. If this is not the case, then you don't have to start a project. There's then the main purpose and meaning of it is completely deleted in a way, in my opinion, of course. At least, yeah. But yeah, like I said, that's the thing is the creative aspect is, yeah, or you really want to get some side effects out of nasty builds, for example, like if you want to troll someone or something like some kiddie style. But that's, I mean that, yeah, there are way better ways to troll people, I would say. Kick them down the stairs or something like this. I don't know. I'm not a troller anyway, so. The hand is cool. The thing is, for example, for me it's here, yeah. I mean, the design is simple, and I really do like the simple design of the blocks in a way, yeah. But if I start to come up with this, yeah, I tend to try to build in too many details that ruin it in the end. Hard to explain, but yeah. Even so, I want to achieve a simple look with simple props and stuff like this, yeah. Then my mind kicks in and comes up, yeah, you want it different, you have something else in mind and stuff like this, and that's what keeps me away from doing stuff like this so often, or I start and then I ruin it in the same process. So now it is brown everywhere, yeah. Finally we did it. Oh no, who are you? But actually, I don't need you. You are out of place, and you guys are maybe out of place too. So cool. Color change accomplished. I have to switch a few of these pillars in the corner. Did I switch every one of these now to? I'm not sure. Now, of course, I mean, environmental telling is storytelling is, especially in a 3D world, not one of the most important things, I would say. And that's not it's for one with the art style and the details, yeah, and yeah, like I said, yeah, it begins, let's say, with the weather you have in the build, yeah, if it is and the background, yeah, having a nice sweet beach with a little palm tree, yeah, the clouds in the background, yeah, and a nice sun, and the sun goes down, yeah, it definitely directly tells you a story, or tells something, and that's the beginning of storytelling, yeah. You immediately get the feeling of here vacation on the beach, or some really nice thing everyone can connect to in a way. Besides, maybe not everyone, when you are afraid of water and stuff like this, or get eaten by sharks, you may not like the beach so much, but yeah, you know what I mean. The thing is, even these get the vibe, yeah. Even for them, the environment directly tells a story. It's a horror story then, but it's a story. So, but the thing is, actually starts with this basic settings. Even a black room, that's for example a thing I like the most in the cube Finch made. That is still not playable for me since it crashed all the time, and one or two rooms get my heart crashed. But working with just one color as a mood setting, as an atmospheric setting, is technically enough to pull something off out of it. So people often think in too big scale, so of course it is interesting to get it detailed and fleshed out and stuff like this, but that's not necessary in no way. And that's this barrier you always have to get out of your mind. I mean, functionality and gameplay and it has to work smooth, of course, in a way. There should be options to get around the annoying stuff, since it has to be fun, of course. But like I said, and if the solution is to collaborate with someone else, yeah. I mean, as a hobby mapper, yeah, pulling off a complete gameplay set with environmental out of one person, yeah, is a task, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. If you set your skill, your ceiling that high, then okay, do it. Yeah, but for me, for example, I know for myself, I build great stuff, but implementing all the effects I have in mind. I mean, of course, I have a AAA title in my mind when I build a map, yeah, but I know for sure it will never happen, since all the work in the background, all the stuff is too much for one person, yeah, and it's the wrong way to go on, yeah. You realize that normally when you go to the playtesting and get your first feedbacks, yeah, the first round of feedback in the first updates is the most important thing in your creations. It is that this is the point where it really pulls off and brings you out of your comfort zone in a way, or helps you finding the solutions you were looking from the beginning in a moment of the build and stuff. And that directly reflects on what I meant with collaboration. Yeah, it hasn't to be much. It has to be in every aspect of a thing. Yeah, but every second opinion, every second eye on the thing, or attempt to do stuff on your map is a relief, and is helping so much, and improves the quality so much. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute, just smoking a cigarette. Yeah. I mean, the good thing is I'm on my third save now for this map, and have many states in between. That's what I always say. Yeah, always keep your older saves for coming back to a point in the map where it is not perfect by far, but you had some other ideas too. Yeah, or came up with too much stuff and ruined the experience the older version could have done to you, or the flow, the way it feels, and start in another direction from this part too, for example, which helps a lot. Sometimes my actual map I made was great in a point, then I ruined it for real, yeah, and came up with just a few basics of the old build and went in complete another direction. Yeah, you never would see the build before, the map, the other map before, from before. Yeah, but I could kept the feeling I had in the old in the work in between. That's the thing. That's a weird thing, you know, when you make your stuff, and yeah, these are all the things I have to keep in mind, or I keep in mind, for example. So there is still the base build in there, and or sometimes, like I said, I sometimes just save, and if it is never used, it's okay. But I can, like these door walls, for example, will maybe come up in a different way in the windows in my hub map I'm just building right now, which will be a weird, chaotic thingy, I have to say. Oy, oy, oy. So look at this. And then the thing is this is what I changed today. I mean, I'm really liking the towers with the thingies here, but the way they look right now, that the proportions of it don't work. We can do better, and that will start. So now it gets interesting. Let's see, can I actually get the angle? I can. Yeah, no, not this direction. So we need this angle. Ah, they are not. I do it with quarters, since the geometry will be going nuts. We go this, we go that. Yeah, that's the thing. Since when I go this and that, no, that's not the angle. Turning 3D objects to and place them to get the right angle for it is not so easy. But yeah, as soon as this one is coming out of the tower like this, and then of course this has a more interesting height and is, oops, don't switch in the menu too much, please. Got a nervous trigger finger today again. So now it is too wide, of course. We make no, this the other one. This, yeah. Let's see. Let's go to this. Finding the right mixture of proportions to please the eye, as we will say. It's one of my favorite terms. It doesn't please the eye so much. It's good, but it's not pleasing my eyes. English can sound so nasty. I like it. So that's the thingy. We don't have. And that's the thing. For example, now I actually wanted to align them for a thing, but thanks to the let's make a not so perfect drop. Yeah, brings up several ideas you can come up with. So if I don't align all these, for example, and go down with this in the middle, I directly get a new shape into the thingy in the end, which can be a little detail, which can be way more interesting to look at. So let's see. And even the corners down there now, which of course will stick to each other, can, if aligned right, give it an interesting look that is intentional in the end. So it wasn't in the beginning, but the beginning is not the end. So what is intentional in the end, is that what matters, not in the beginning. It's nice to have a vision for something you want to create, but as long as the finished yeah, okay, the thing is, we have this lower, the end of the process. I mean, my most favorite sentence is that the way is the goal and stuff like this. And but yeah, and then of course that's the easy. So no, it's so hard to see the lines on texture sometimes. And I have to switch the 140, that the other one that isn't on 140 right now here, right? Yeah, it isn't, of course. You see, no wonder it's not working like I think. That's just a slight testing. So, but that's the problem here. The middle one actually is a good thing, I guess, when it is not that wide. Makes it a bit more easy to align the corner in a way for a more interesting look. Yeah, it is. So that way it works out fine. I mean, it's a distance detail now, so, but yeah, that's way better already. I mean, it's not perfect, and but that's the thing. I know for sure, knew for sure that in the end that making the towers look in a slight different way with these little short snipe places there will make it more interesting. That's the next thing. That's why I wanted to keep these little towers I had in the outer way. It like the thingy here, some switches in this direction. The thing is, these are real minor outskirt details, and I really don't want to come up with too much effort, since we can lose a lot of resources with real technically unnecessary details in these areas, when there is the amount of stuff needed really in the place like here. So that's the thing I kind of want to avoid for the moment, but since I am actually retexturing these anyway right now, why not? Let's see what's happening. But I have to keep in mind to not waste too much time on them for now. So, but then we go here. And like I said, that the thing is, I just start an idea drop here, and if you get stuff in mind, keep it, yeah. And as soon as you get your hands on it, yeah, try it or make it or do whatever you want to do with it. And if your ideas go crazy in the process right now, of course, tell me, then I try to publish and give it over to you, and you can start immediately before too much time is lost in between, and you kind of lost the idea you get. I mean, just talk to me, of course, just talk to me. Since sometimes it's sometimes the hard thing is you see stuff and then brain's ticking, but you can't work with the ideas, or can test the ideas even, yeah. And yeah, sometimes that's a sad thing. So now that's the thing, yeah. Now if with the change like this, for example, here we get a complete new little nice detail thanks to the aligning of these. We have this corner here down there, but we can make a little accent cut here. Then now I have a really thing. I'm pretty sure this will go with not that much more parts needed too. Since wait a sec, yes, now I'm curious. Now I'm really curious. So we copied this. It should be the same like this. Yes, it is. So then we keep this tight little corner in between, not too much, not the same. So this will be a very thin tower, but it will be a very cute tower too. So now we have to work more precisely. So okay, for one we have this, we go this. So now we need some helping props for the aligning. That's the thing I really started very late, I have to say, is always make your helpings, especially when it comes to higher places and stuff. Always try to be, when you place several things, you need a connection to the floor to ensure the right heights and stuff, or always help you with big blocks that are obviously shining out in a way. Most likely I do it with these normal textured ones in a red or in a green. As more helpings you need, of course, yeah, the more colors you should use for that. Interesting is, there is still this slight difference in the height. Okay, so before we start that, so I mean the good thing is we are so far away out of player side, yeah, that there is no need for this high perfection. Of course, we can try to come as close as possible, but we absolutely don't have to. We absolutely not. Now make this one bigger. So then set it slightly above, so that's a good one. Now what is the most important is movement speed. If you want, place it right, make it slow so the controls get tight. Oh, okay, so we do it like this. And use this better aligned new version of it. I mean, that's the thing you really see. It is a good tool, of course, yeah, but normally I'm right in the middle of copying. Normally now I have to change my movement speed again already, so it is the thing in between. So but that the time you need to go through the menus and stuff and things like this are time consuming too. So there's always these are the points you actually realize, okay, I got a tool, I have a good tool in hand here. That's interesting. So always switch them a bit, so there's always a slight misaligning in textures, in the props. So you always have to correct them once to really ensure that you get these straight angles on the stuff. If you don't do that, there's always a slight difference that is very, very noticeable in the end. So that's then when you are thinking you're doing exact the same proportion or the exact same thing, this symmetrically wise, but there's something wrong, then yeah, you didn't ensure. God, it's very slow. 2 is freaking hard. I mean, I really have to change again, but I don't. I always think of it when I'm too close for my goal. So oh, now I have changed this, so I need this anywhere else. So that's the thing. So now we go to our movement speed. Let's go to the middle. So we have changed this again. That's what I mean. It seems so simple, yeah. But then the thing is that you have to work as precise as you want in the first place. When you stumble over something really useful and good, you really want to have and want to flesh out, you really pay for your laziness in the first place. But like I said, the best creative stuff comes out of this just meshing stuff together. So it's guaranteed to make you a ton of work if you want to get as creative as possible. And stick to what you said before, like me for example. I actually just said, so it hasn't to be that precise, yeah, but there is no way in my mind that I don't try to do it like this. As soon as I am possible to really do what I say and don't say what I don't do, yeah, then yeah. That's always a nice mindfuck in a way, I have to say. So that's interesting now. Since this front is the side of the other one, yeah, there you see the little differences already from. Even so, the height is the height is right, but the place thing. Yeah, but that's just maybe the detail I just mentioned. That is not so important in the end. I mean, hopefully. What the fuck? This isn't aligned with the ground. It's just half size. It's ending behind the wall somewhere. Holy shit. The problem is, no, it's working. That's working. That's it. There we were before. That's it. What I had before. This is the aligning. This is it. So okay, we have it for this angle. So now it's just. So this is correct. This is away. A slight bit more in the wide, slight bit wider. So that should be enough already. It's you. You are the one. You are a tiny bit more far away, so run close. And you are a bit aligned back. Yeah, you are. You see, this is it. Now we get lining closer. Yes, we did correctly. Nice. And now comes the more or less real, not so important part when it comes to the accuracy. So this is better now too. This is the thing. I mean, I was really impressed when it comes to your skill improvements, and when you started to revamp the first station. I mean, the build in before, yeah, like I said, this is the build in the beginning is one of a kind. So it took years for someone newer in a way to shine like this when it comes to the geo, combined with an extremely good fleshed out logics in a way. So you did really impress a lot of people with this, especially me, I have to say. And yeah, you actually managed to do to make me enjoy what's it called here, a zombie based mode in a way I never had before. Like I said, normally no game zombie mod in any game is really interesting me normally, but the way the map was and how to figure out how things work in combined with the snap map part of it. So I for one, I wanted to understand the map and finish it for the map's gameplay itself, but I was really impressed about the implementations and stuff, and the build and so on. There were so many things, and of course, yeah, you have to know a few things about the mechanics and how stuff works in SnapMap, but you more or less implemented directly everything and even more I told you, and I tried to show off with the next update, which was really ridiculous. I mean, you stumbled now over the same problem I stumbled over. Yeah, the thing is, of course, you can polish and do, but there's then one point in your doing where you overdo it in a way. So that's you thanks to all the details you implemented, you slightly came over the spot where you get the slight lag in the maps, in the slight overusing I don't know, the slight, yeah, the slight push of the limits, and therefore you receive the slight lag in performance, but it's okay still, since yeah, it's not a too fast-paced map anyways, and therefore it's really more noticeable if you know the difference in between and stuff like this. And yeah, but yeah, like I said, the way you improved on the map and made even more, and in terms of optimization and stuff, that was really impressive. So now let's see. Yeah, that's okay. Now we take this. Just do it like this. Yeah. The complete gap is too much, I would say. That's better like this. I mean, there are no gaps in the corners, but I mean, corners and the middle of the wall are different parts, so they are okay when they look a bit different, I would say. And of course, we can let this shine and work a bit and come up with some stuff later on. So this is nuts. I hate it. Like I said, the thing is, you will definitely see where you were lazy when you flesh stuff out, and more or less will regret it or end up like me, get addicted. So these are the two sides that are interesting for us. So this one and this one. The back side shouldn't be visible in any way, at least not the middle corner. No, it isn't. So no one will ever figure out that there is stuff missing. No, the shadow is casting perfectly. Thank you a lot, SnapMap. Thanks a lot. So that's the one. Did we have two of these? No. And for now, yeah, the thing is, what I had in mind for the corner, since this, we can keep this detail, of course. Actually, this detail is not working. So we need, especially this corner here, this one is the more important one. The back, the shadow is not necessarily interesting, so that's good, that's very good. Even better than the other part, but that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, and then we go. I want to frame the lowest cycle a bit, so we go here. And go like this. Yeah, for 2020 is cool. But now we just but let's elevate it first before we start. Let's say square by square. Yeah, this is okay. Then it hasn't to be that much. Still too much. That should be good. I mean, it has to cover stuff, so. Yep. If it isn't aligned right, frame it. If it is still not aligned right, frame the frame. So, okay, now we trick the system a bit more, since the alignment is not correct here. To at least we can make it so the corner and the shadow cast goes to the back, not to the front, so we actually don't have to align it correct, but don't see the alignment either. So now it would look really shitty from this side, or even more shitty, and this side is cool. These are all actually theater tricks, like in a way, when it comes to what's it called, the set dressing or stuff like this. A theater set dressing, a traditional one, yeah, is so not correct in a way. It's just for it works so hard with the distance and the way the lighting in the theater is done, and to get a certain effect. And yeah, you can really use have to use these techniques for the backgrounds for your maps too. And that the thing is, it has to look like, but it never has to be that perfect in a way. That's always something you have to keep in mind. And it's actually really fun. It's classic Hollywood style to trick the audience a bit in a way, and make it possible, make it happen to trick the audience. That's part of the magic of creation, I would say, and something for geeky nerds that are absolutely inside stuff. like me and Snapmap. It always will get me off guard with something like this when I'm behind the scenes. You are misaligned, my friend. I see it. I can see it. So many parts. Well, too much texting, but it didn't actually. Sorry for that way to say. Was so ending. Uh, Yeah, Dark Souls is that's the thing with the environmental telling. Yeah, I still kept it for me. So, and but it definitely will be a good source of inspiration for me too in a moment. In once I have the time and the money, but most likely the time. It's really a time thing. Do all the work and stuff like this. Time is very precious, and since I'm still hooked to my few games in the moment, there's not that much time to get used to complete new game mechanics and stuff like this. But environmental wise, that's a real must play for me too. And yeah, and the thing is, Sika, I try to come up in big scale what I did before with the polls I had in the background. I deleted them before publishing since I wanted to save resources. That's a bummer. I had nice little towers before, but maybe I do it big one here. That's the thing. That's a good one, yeah. Yeah, and I know you're still updating. Like I said, the thing is, be aware. I just replayed them, of course I wanted to, so I thought it was a while, and let's just play the two stations. I go for a map finish and not for a score, so the first one is played actually pretty fast, since I know the stuff to do, and can proceed in a normal way in the map, which is a very good flow. The map has a very good pacing when it comes to game time, in a way. Like I said, the only thing is there is the slight delay, but that's, as I think, too many little details added after that or something like that. But it's working okay. So it's really on the peak. I wouldn't say there's too much more that has to be done in the stations. And the second one, it explains stuff. The cheesy parts are out of the way in a way. The glitches all work still, which is a good thing. So the weapon effects, switch glitch and stuff. By the way, is the special shotgun you get in this back area after that, is it going away after a period of time, or is it actually staying in the inventory for the older time? But since I'm not sure. I had in mind that the time was shorter before you lose it again, and that's the thing. I actually spent so much time the last time in the map, since I kind of wanted to wait until it's gone and you catch it from down there to go to the final arena. But yeah, that was the point, and then I actually accidentally sold it thanks to the 2 weapon limit, and yeah, it didn't come back in the in the foundry, or in the spec area then. And that made me think, okay, when it isn't respawning anymore, so maybe it would be staying in the inventory for all the time. But yeah, that's the only thing that wasn't really obvious, since, like I said, I spent a lot of time compared to had in mind with how long it takes, and it actually stood in the inventory. So it is still set to it goes away after a while, so that's the point. Okay. But yeah, that the point is, yeah, like I said, I always will mess around with fetching it back. So, but like I said, the thing is, in this round my ammo didn't run out, but I accidentally sold the wrong weapon when buying a new weapon or pick up a new weapon from the mystery box, and that was then I came back and it didn't respawn down there, so I had to try to finish the last arena without it, which ended up in me getting accidentally in a bad situation in between, since my biggest enemy in the moment when it comes to AI is actually the soldier. I don't know what it is, but it feels like they think that they see me and immediately start the charge shots, and not just one or two. No, push it, right? It's ridiculous, and the charged shots of the soldiers are such a powerful attack, and so unpredictable when they actually will explode. Yeah, and you can get smashed by 2 or 3 shots are enough to down you, even so your armor is up and stuff like this. They really destroy you when they hit too many shots after it, in succession. Then it's over. And yeah, that's actually really the enemy I struggle the most in the moment. Or I'm most afraid of, let's say it this way. So if I see standing there, 2 soldiers standing there in a sweet spot for them, in an opportunity for them, then I really overthink how to proceed and to manage them there. Which is a good thing, of course. Yeah, it would be a shame that everyone would struggle with all the big ones, but not the small ones. I mean, he will never be more annoying than a cyber mancubus, of course. This perfection of annoyance is never be replaced, of course. I don't know. Such a nasty enemy. Don't jump too much. So, I mean, like I said, these are in the back, but this contrast may be visible from the wrong angle, and that's not intended. Don't switch to, yeah, here you are. Muscle memory is leaving again. And my chat actually had so much text now. I have to come up. No, I'm on. So yeah, I had to anyway. The best thing is, and I'm really happy about it. Yeah, the thing is with the one map, of course. Yeah, that was the thing. I really thought, and normally it never worked out for me in this thing. The thing is, I had in mind just to come up with a small build, just build a little few rooms or something like this. Some custom geo and stuff, yeah, nothing too fancy, or there was nothing really in mind and stuff. But I thought, well, let's let's make it for me personally a bit more interesting and stream while, so maybe someone is catching in the stream, so maybe some nice conversation with the guys, or someone like you or anyone is happening, or some things like this, yeah. And then yeah, it actually went in the way that everything creative wise went correctly and I really made extremely good progress, didn't get stuck on some environmental issues in the way of layout and stuff. Every step was followed by now I can do this with this, and here we do that, and even the enemy placement worked out very well, and the balance of it was of course not hard in a way that I never target a hard gameplay. I always target a fluid one, so that the thing is, yeah, as long the flow is in a way working, I don't care about how much skill you need, yeah. And of course, like I said, I do like tweaking in different directions, of course, but somehow don't do it, since yeah, I'm always think if I spend too much effort in the aftermath, as long as it's not too game breaking, like forgetting to make walls solid and stuff like this, I try to avoid to come with too much in between, since the publishing is always tricky sometimes. And yeah, but like I said, the thing is, that's my normal process at its best. So building 11 hours and then have more or less publishable solution on hand. I mean, I knew for sure that the end spot was not the end for me. That's not an ideal one, but it was at least a 5-minute experience of something, and people who actually saw me building it in a full session from empty grid room to this is yeah, that's saying something about when it comes to me building stuff. And the other one, I was working a bit longer on that. I mean, it was the second part of the dungeon, of course, yeah. And I had the first room that splits up, which is the last room of the first episode. That was finished, but and I had the first corner, you can say, was set, but was the base of the first corner when you go to the teleporting door. Then was built already, but I had to do a lot of deleting work in the background, since this is the direct copy of the save of the first one, to keep every detail I may need from the part before, since that's the thing when it comes to big campaign models or big map ideas, in a way, to ensure that you just have to come up with episodes. You always have to keep as much as possible from the episode before, and then have to delete as much as soon as you know, okay, that's not necessary, that's not needed, that's definitely not needed. Then you empty the save, and then you build on this and stuff like this. And yeah, then I mean, I had spent a lot of time already with level 2, and there was for one, there was the way I wanted to go I wasn't sure, and I know the concept is that it should be a dungeon with many corners where I can place many chests and stuff like this. This is my main intention in the dungeons, of course, and keeping a feel and improving on the feel, and that can take time, of course. But yeah, I was working on that a bit before, and thanks to this the little one, which came out so well in so many points, made me really confident in some floppy ideas I had with the dungeon. And actually, what the fuck? Oh, there's this. And actually helped a lot in pushing this forwards too. Then I use them, but I'm not good in them. That's the thing. That's my the thing is, I have to learn a lot of stuff when it comes to decals, and it's pretty tricky since you know my build. The thing is, even so, you don't see the crossings that often in my map, since I'm really used to, like here, for example. Even so, you should technically see the the borders here, right? When it comes, it's way too seamless in a way for what it is. Since I learned how I can place things more or less on top, but with the slight switch you do anyway, you can prevent it from clipping. So if it is aligned perfectly, it will clip, the textures will clip, since they take the same space in the grid. But if you slide just a slide of 1.01 or 0.1 in the place, the glitching is prevented, and the corner, this is it's so tiny you won't realize it. If it comes to placing decals, but then you can have the problem that you need more and more and more, and it's not working that way you want it to, and then the coloration and the ways you can work with decals, for example, there is so much cool stuff, and like making the cracks and things like this, and I can't control can't control them that good to reach the goal I know is possible, but I don't figured out how to do it with the capacities and stuff like this. Getting the right lighting to make it not too glowy, and there are certain things that always annoy me in the doing so, and that's why I'm most of the time not using that much of decals. I'm using a lot of decals. That's not even the thing, but it's not that. This is actually one of the things I would always do in the step I can't do in lately. So that's when I published the base, and I had often the thing that I really had a nice fleshed out with all the decals, but then I wasn't able to publish, or even the maps crashed me and I lost hours of work, since that's most of the time that it were sessions that went over a few hours, and you know what happens when how much stuff can be done in a few hours on my side. So and the second time you do that once, and it's hard to come and do it a second time. Then I mean, I got used to loose content and creations and stuff in many ways, but there's still there is still this little block that actually will hurt your motivation and your patience to do it, especially when it comes to individual decals, which most of them have so many little tweaks and stuff, and it's hard to reach them. So that since there is no backup in a way that I have the dates. I mean, often it is that when I really think of textures and stuff or color combinations, I really write down what combinations I do. When I come over really cool stuff, I know for sure I want to use somewhere else in some time else in a way. I really write down what I use, how I use it, which sizes I used, and stuff like this, to ensure that there is never the problem I forget and have to look it up all for new and stuff like this, so. But most of the time it's not the case. Like I said, my the maps that really shine for now, had in between sometimes a way even better look when it comes to decals especially. And I polished up a lot of stuff on my side with decals. It depends. I mean, the thing is, I work with decals sometimes in a very efficient way, you can say. So you actually see the product, but you don't see the decal. You know what I mean? it's hard to tell. It's like this. There are a few ways when you create stuff in SnapMap. You actually really, oh fuck, did I mess it up now? And okay, there's something missing from the copy. That's the thing always. You see, I said it the last time. Yeah, normally at least one of the props is missing in my selection. Then so yeah, here we are. Not only one but two, but it's not too bad. The corner is pretty nasty to build in, but yeah. So that's the thing, it's a bit dark here. I need a light source, I guess. Let's see. It's dark, but it's okay. I mean, not so bad. So yeah, and we missed this and we missed that, of course. No, there wasn't anyone, I think. So. Now the thing it make now let's see. I have to change the angle settings to get a better angle here. That's the thing. Let's go to 5 should be okay. Because the thing is, as soon as of course you can switch and go how much you want. The problem is if you copy and want to change the angle, the direction of the angle, you have to be sure that you are locked like this. So that's always a thing. You always have to lock it on the angle I just changed here. That the 15 is for the thing if you want to have the stuff get aligned in 45 degrees, 90 degrees, etc. The best angle settings are really to make it most versatile is 15. That's stuff I learned by PigDog, who is the master of the geometry when it comes to real proportions and stuff like this, and not only the weird messy stuff I do normally. So yeah, that's the thing I never used, for example here, these settings so that much, and switch the sides and angles by hand and stuff like this. Even these in the beginning when I wanted to ensure, so this up and down feature, of course, yes, that's what I did, but to ensure the distances between objects, for example, yeah, the best thing of course is what you can do is you place them stack them on top each other and then delete in the parts in between. But for me it was most of the time I really went this way. So really old maps like the penetration and stuff like this, yeah, it's really handcrafted artwork in this way that it's I look at it that long until I'm satisfied with the solution. And yeah, it's not 100%, but we are at 98% or stuff like this most of the time, which shows off the thing what you meant. Yeah, you need a bit of talent for this, of course. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's I know for sure that my eye for aligning and for the proportions and stuff is really fleshed out. One side is talent, other side is practice. I studied a lot of books and stuff like this to ensure the reason is at least to know what is the reason that something looks like it looks and has the feel that it provides to the audience and stuff like this. So that's the mixture of both. I mean, that's the thing. You can learn as much as you want. Yeah, you still need a bit of talent and have to feel if it's right or not. So that's the thing. And of course, that's not. It's not working every time. Yeah, it's mood dependent, of course, too, and stuff like this. But yeah. That's actually, if I had no talent, yeah, this would be one, I would say. Yeah. As talent free, I mean, in many other aspects, often enough. Yeah, that's one I count on my side. So that's a little thank you, God. Thanks for at least something. Yeah. That's the same like in Homer Simpson's head. Like I said, there's this sign. So I owe you a brain, yeah, but here's some talent for. So yeah. So at least I don't die hungry in a way. Stupid but not hungry. I mean, this is so low that no one would see the tower from down there anyways, but yeah, what can you do? I won't raise the complete tower since I don't want to copy the whole thing again and try it, since it's the background, it's the freaking background, and I'm doing it for 2 hours now again, I guess. What, you have another map to test out, yeah? I could, maybe, sure. I mean, my playing skills may not be that good too much at the moment, but yeah, I could. Just a moment. Okay, the actual position of the tower is really more interesting after seeing it from here, and what's happening, and yeah, maybe a bit higher than, yeah. And what I do with this is not, I don't know. Let's say for sure that's not what I want. Let's open up the space first. Leave it out. So sometimes emptiness is not the worst. So let's see. First, we try to save this. And yeah, now I'm pretty sure I have to move them higher and closer, at least that close that as possible with the side now. I don't want to have it stuck through the environment down there, but it has to be a bit optimized in placing. That's true. Yeah, that's pretty sure. But saving maps depends. I mean, okay, this one is going on for a while. So the thing is, I really see if I did something too sloppy on places and stuff like this, because sometimes it goes fast. I mean, the map is saved already, but not on the server. That's the thing I meant, and I'm pretty sure that's the thing. Why cause the upload resource or something like this. I mean, there is a cap, a save cap, for every app in a way. How big stuff can actually be, it's not limitless. So even so, my hard drive would take it. For example, you can't make a game bigger than a certain amount to crash the system in a way. The CPU and the RAMs and stuff like this have their limit in how big stuff can actually go. It was on the PS3, for example. It's here too in a way. And since this is getting bigger over time, do all the stuff that is coming on the server. I'm pretty sure it's based on that. Since, like I said, it's the server compatibility what makes the problem, either the publishing or the saving on the server. So, and that's what I think is the issue. Is really it's SnapMap. The server file of SnapMap is getting too big. Since I'm not sure, it has to be actually one server, and yeah, there is a point when servers get too full. And I'm not sure if they implemented sorry, our servers are full sign in a way, and yeah, reaching the limits. There will be most certainly a point, yeah, where no one that should be able to publish a map can publish a map, since of course the server capacity is done. I mean, the problem is the actual end is far away, but the performance will go down and way more down, since yeah, the freaking server has to calculate too much data and too much input and stuff like this. That's the thing why I say the official public server is doomed in a real way, in a real sense, thanks to the achievements and the achievement maps. People just pull off to get the trophy and the achievement, and yeah, no, of course no one of these guys, if oh yeah, I know, bad me. The thing is, if the people who just want the achievement would be so smart, yeah, but no one who is not related to the program, no one thinks about stuff like this, yeah. They just have to publish it, yeah, get your achievement and unpublish it, yeah. Everything would be fine, but only the author can do this. And since yeah, they go in and out and everything, yeah, the thing is, this foot folk is ruining the game. That's the sad point on it. Yeah, that's you can be angry on anyone that just came in, just hunted for the trophy and went out. That's what actually is ruining the game. The report function is unnecessary work, since there are so many people that actually do not know, even I think some think when they report the map they actually vote it up or vote it down in a way, since sometimes it's really weird what the reports on the map should be the intention of the reporting. So yeah, that's another one. But yeah, I really made my thoughts about this feature. Yeah, the thing is, like I said, I was used to have used to play in a clan once back 10 years ago, and we had 5 servers. I mean, every one of our members in a way paid a little something in the for the membership and stuff like this. But yeah, like I said, to host and work with servers is money that you need over time, like the rent and stuff like this. So there was a good point why members of our clan had to pay money and stuff, and we did what we could, so no one was forced to pay ridiculously amounts of money, and there were a few exceptions were made of people that had not have to pay stuff and things like this. Yeah, but yeah, the first thing was that we had a language barrier so it was a complete German-speaking clan, for example, just to optimize the communications on the server in the base. So everyone who was able to talk and write more or less perfect German in a way, you can say, yeah, I mean, my German is kind of worse than my English, yeah, and my English is not really is terrible. So yeah, you know what I mean, yeah. But yeah, the foundation has to be there, for example. So we had some Netherlands, 2 of them, which could speak more or less perfectly German, for example, and some guys from around. But yeah, that was one thing, and the other one was we had two 16-year-olds, and everyone else was at least 18-year-old. So it depends on the person, of course. Yeah, if you are a 14-year-old, yeah, and are childish like my grandfather, for example, yeah, then of course, yeah. But to prevent two shitty things, and even to prevent that you have to think about what you are saying right now and what topics are talked about in a way, yeah, to keep it in a good way, yeah, that we always were about language and stuff like this on our servers, of course, especially, but in between in the conversations between the members and stuff like this too. Yeah, we always want to have a good foundation of good behavior in a way, yeah, which was well received from everyone who was there, and was one feature that drove many people to us, was the way we shared our time, so you can say, yeah. And but yeah, the thing is, like I said, yeah, servers have to be that's the point, yeah. And my idea in the way, and what I'm thinking of around, is how it could be possible in a way to get for a fee or something like this. That the thing is, SnapMap in a way should be separated from Doom in complete, since it is made by Escalate Studios, for example. Yeah, the rights are on it and stuff like this. Yeah, but the thing is, SnapMap should be not only an add-on for, but a paid version. There should be about a paid version, for example, so that you actually really could own a real SnapMap, yeah, and then there should be a way to open up the modding or stuff like this, that there is a way to add stuff, yeah. I mean, even the payment for a SnapMap would make it possible to pay people to work on it, yeah. You can't think of anyone work on something free in their free time, yeah. That is brings no money. The few more people that will build in a way, yeah, of course, it will be these one-time bots of Doom then, but these are still there anyway. So yeah, so the money with these copies, yeah, they don't pay the bills for the programmers and stuff like this. Yeah, there is no chance. So the only thing what would be possible in a way would be an option to more or less open up the SnapMap and provided with private servers, for example, that can be rented and stuff like this. So the software is there to be worked on the private servers that cost money. You know what I mean? That's the way, and then you should get the hardcore, the basement of the community to actually buy a private server with the implemented, more or less open source SnapMap to work on. And then you need the people that are skilled enough to work on that and make the janitor for the server in a way, yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, it in the end would be the necessity, the shared rent, the payment of the shared rent, in a way. That's the thing, yeah. For me in the moment, yeah, my money is so close, yeah, that I have weeks where I can be happy that I have something to eat, and that's the thing. So I couldn't even guarantee from my side out the holding. So if I had enough, I easily would do it on my own and would say, come on to me, here's the new sandbox for everyone that loves SnapMap. Yeah, I would love to have SnapMap for myself, yeah, and share it from my side out in a way, yeah. And like I said, it's just a thing of payment and connections, yeah. And technically, nowadays this would be possible, yeah. That's the thing. But just in theory, then I'm most likely one of the most farthest away people from things, since yeah, Texas and Germany are not too close, I would say. Yeah. Like I said, there is this barrier too from my side. So, and yeah, but I mean I never came really up with this, and since this is kind of an obvious point, I think, since I'm a really noob when it comes to technical stuff like this, yeah, but this is a thing I got in mind really quickly, I would say. But yeah, that would be the future of SnapMap, when there would be a future. Everything else is yeah, not so much, I would say. But yeah, time will bring something else funny to play with and stuff like this, so yeah. Learning to let it go will be an interesting experience for many people, and yeah, then there comes the next thing that hooks them, and yeah, in a few years there's just this, oh, SnapMap was so nice, but we have this now and this now and this now, and I do this, oh, now I'm making my stuff with Unreal Engine now, so, and yeah. So yeah, we saved, play testing, that's the thing, we wanted to see it out of the game. I'm distracted by philosophizing about SnapMap, which is always a fun thing, but yeah. I mean, the cool thing is, even the servers go down, yeah, you will be way more limited again, yeah, but you still can build your stuff for your own, which was my purpose of the of the map editor in the first place. Since there was this nice discussion on Reddit of Terratella's Reddit that I've seen, where people actually there was one who asked if people like to play their own maps and even come back more often to play their own maps. When I think of the hundreds of plays my maps have here, I would say 70% at least are my own plays. Not only testings, but before I struggle and look for something else, I really enjoy playing my stuff, because I made it for me, the balancing is made for me and everything. So yeah. It's nice to share the stuff you make and get some feedback, good or bad, of course. Yeah, I mean, the good one is always the better one, but even bad feedback is a good feedback. And you remove the ass camera, but yeah, it was a mistake on my side, but that actually helped me, for example, to get off the long save times. The glitch start point can cause serious issues, I'm pretty sure. It didn't for now, but the tweaking is really good, by the way. The good thing is, as long as you are on high speed, you actually can jump from the middle up here. So there is the bonus, getting the bonus when it comes to functionality of the build. The shaking is bad, I have to say. I mean, it's an interesting little balance tweak in a way, and it's not too disgusting, but it's hard in the first place, coming in and have all the shaking and the movement speed and so on. Really, so I mean, this encounter here is nuts. Yeah, these are all placeholders. I really wanted to see how the big AI is reacting to the Geo right now, and since these guys, wait a second, these guys have the biggest combat range, so they actually can track you down the most from any angle, which is important, because attack distance is the key to more or less functioning in Geo, I think. Right. But this fight is nuts now. But the thing is, I really try to get out the chunkiness out of it, and I rather go to, since you use props now anyways, that was my intention, I rather go to prop pillars in a way than these on this side. The hand in the background is cool, but that will make issues with the design, I guess. I think of stuff, and maybe with the lava it works better. Since this texture I kinda wanted to use for the lava pools and stuff like this, or the corners where the lava is coming through, I got a few ideas. It's a bit sad you didn't actually work with the lava texture ring and stuff I could work on, since like I said I have some basic ideas and may implement it, but it would be helpful up front when I've seen what you had in mind to build on top of that, but now we will see what we can do. The thing is that the reason I just build up, for example, these huge basic walls are that way it's way easier to implement stuff and something like this. So are we already on the? Yeah, we are already. I mean that this electric sound vibe in the back is cool too and stuff like this, but the shaking is way too hard. Yeah, this is not shaking okay, but this shaking is crazy. And you start to walk, that's interesting my friend. Since when do you start to walk? I mean, you can't walk definitely, but since this area is not barricaded, so he will fall through the floor, which I will prevent soon too. Because I hate it when this happens. I want them at least to stick on the ground and give the feeling of a hard topic here. Nothing worse than falling through the geo. Yeah, the shaking itself is okay. I mean, that's an interesting side effect, like I said, to balance out the godlike overpowered state you get with the buff and stuff and so on. The sides have to be higher and to ensure the distance here. So now at least you see at least already with the red of this here and the lights and stuff like this. Now when some fire and lava is coming into the place too, then this will go really nuts from the details here, from the design here, and it's not that extreme hard when it comes to black. I think this works out just fine now. Yeah. Tower. Yeah, this tower, okay, there is not necessary that it has to be definitely closer. Or the walls have to be lower, that's the next point. I mean, since there's the invisible wall anyways, there is no way to jump that high, so that no one comes out of there. Then it would take too much effort to ensure the look of the upper floor. I mean, the area up there was a nice one, but yeah, to ensure the surrounding was too heavy cost. I need too much stuff to what the fuck. I've seen something. I'm pretty sure I've seen the floor texture glitching out. One thing is, for example, when I build custom geo maps, for example, especially with the grid module, I never connect the module to any module. The only traverse out of the module is via a teleporter, and if it is looking like a door and just not opening up and is teleporting you away, and as soon as a grid module is connected, you have to look for so much stuff, especially that don't let stuff look through the wall into another module. It freaks out your maps always. Connected modules and custom geo are no friends. So that's the thing on my maps, that most likely maybe in one or two connections sometimes are made actually through the doors, but that's a real unicorn, you can say, in my maps. You will rather stumble over unicorn and then finding a map connected, or at least a grid module connected to anything. Yeah, there it is. I knew it. Thing is, the floor was placed before. That's a shame. But that's, like I said, it takes a while to test out stuff like this. Yeah, the thing is, I hoped that these enemies, like I said, are all placeholders. These are actually just there for me to ensure either how good are the walkways working. Thanks to these AI, for example, I learned that these corners make them stuck already. Yeah. Then most of the enemies were made for me to check how good do they work, or what is the behavior on the upper platforms and stuff like this. And yeah, so that's the thing why here is an AI. These are all placeholders. I mean, your little one is like technically a placeholder too, since he is just there to check how it works when it comes to yeah, you see, not much. It's really not much. I mean, this is tight, but this is not. It's just that little bit, and if the modules wouldn't be connected, this would be no problem. But as soon as it is, yeah, you have to watch out. So that's always a thing. The problem is, you most likely see it in the middle of the module. If the view distance of your map is too far and stuff like this, the closer you get, the more likely you have a chance to don't see it. But you are very limited on the walls on the connected modules, which is, you could go out 1/3 of with the prop if it wouldn't connected, no problem, not whatsoever. But as soon as the module is connected and you go in the direction of the next module, yeah, the game doesn't know what the part, what's the module it contains, and tries to, and switches in between the loading the texture and not loading the texture, since the next room is technically through the door is not loaded yet. Since if that would be the case, yeah, your map would be brutally lagging. So is it this one now or not? Oh, maybe like this. Wait a second. Yeah, we can work from outside. The thing is, we got lucky here already. Technically, these all have the chance to get. I hate it. Like I said, the bad thing is, I checked on it, but I didn't check it right. So. And I should have deleted the floors too and place them myself, since yeah, that like I said, these are the issues I can address 1,000 of times, but I think I'm the only one who took, and it took a ton of time and experimenting around next to Big Dog to ensure this is not happening. And yeah, I mean, you can go perfectly aligned on this corner. That's not a problem. But especially with the big floor tiles, it gets really messy really fast. mean, now it's way too much distance, but I don't care. I really don't care. Like I said, if you don't want to care in any way when it comes to this, yeah, especially with the skyboxes, I mean, skybox placement is a thing for itself, yeah, and stuff like this, yeah. But if you ever want to have an easy time and know for sure that you are not have to rely on the big doors on the side of the module, especially on the grid module, yeah, never connect it and ensure that traverse to another module via a teleporter. Which is always a thing, yeah, you always have to build up either a nice teleporter room or something like this, yeah, and always have some new input for what your map needs that is functional and can look cool, for example, too. The teleporter system, in my opinion, is actually a thing I really like, even more than working doors, so I'm a big fan of jump pads and teleporters. And that even though I'm not a really big Star Trek fan, but teleporters are cool. Send your head this way and your ass another way. Now thankfully I have these dark textures now to see if my borders are clipping or not. But it looks actually there it is. There's the border. And thinking how long it took me right now to see it, I would say it's okay. You see what I see? The tower is sticking through. But yeah, okay. So the towers are nice with this crown thingy, but yeah, they are way too low. Way too low. But I mean, the max height is not that much anymore. That's the next thing. But yeah, there is space. Where's the roof? Oh, I have. There is place. There. Oh, there's a ton of space. Holy shit! There's a ton of space in between. I should have placed some light source here, so I see that I actually pick up everything. Oh, that's the wrong one. That one. So we have a close look. We have this, this, this. There is none. Okay. We have this. There's someone missing here, right? No, this is the empty side too. Okay. We have this, the middle, this. We have this. We have the corner. We have this corner, right? Have we? Yeah, we have. Okay. Yeah, and the wall is too high out around him. Yeah, maybe the thing is, I'm not sure if the thing is the next thing is I like this area and I like the one long hallway in a way. I will stretch these parts out to make it completely to the next door, I guess, something like this. At least I'm thinking of it. That's I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm struggling. On one side is the challenge and the to the difference then to, I mean, it has its certain opportunities, and when it comes to walking from a doorway from the side into the next module and something like this, even so, okay, you could place the thing, but it is different walking from one environment into another one. There is a certain feel connected to it that is not to underestimate. That's definitely a thing. So, but I mean, the thing is, this was really the last what could even actually happen when it comes to clipping. I actually prevent everything else in this module from clipping already, and yeah, this was a minor little thing which most likely wouldn't happen that often anyway, because it depends really strong on the point of view to the module, where you stand and what distance you see it, and the distances are very tight already. So even so, I tested out a lot. Yeah, I was really lucky to see it this moment. Yeah, and it could have taken it even longer, and I never would actually realize that there is this slight little gap sticking through. So you know what? Since this is my good tower now, no? Before I leave the setting, so let's destroy it. Only thing is, this is a good one, this is a good side, this is the bad side, and this is the another bad side, right? Yes, it is. It's like a Sauron tower or something like this. Making an Eye of Sauron. But we can place a pocket Sauron, but yeah, the box doesn't open up if you're close enough, so yeah. One of my favorite terms where Justin came up with the pocket Sauron for the Argent cells. The little pocket Sauron, and it really looks like a pocket Sauron. So good. Fun fact is, what I see now, at least from the distance, it's maybe not even that bad, is the diamond shape you could create from just doing it like this. The thing is, it should be a bit longer, so it's more in the middle, and then the alignment, of course, is a bit more necessary, since yeah, therefore you really see the laziness even in the distance. But that's the thing, yeah. That's how you can stumble over some nice, interesting new ideas, is by building something and then deleting stuff and see what sticks or is left sometimes. Interesting part is this actually would be a nice arm angle for your hand too, you know, if you go here. Too bad now he has two left hands in a way. Absolutely talent-free giant titan. And we take this with us. There's one missing, right? Yeah, there's one missing. I see you. I freaking see you. Since the size is right. Yes, even too big a bit, but yeah. But it's the small little more detail which actually could work to create this bone feel for the angle. So like I said, even though of course the proportions are not quite on spot, I like the hand. The proportion of the hand and itself is on a good spot already. So the way the fingers and things make this open hand now, it's okay. Hmm. 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 Yeah. See, this I had something else in mind. This is stuff I tend to leave to you later on. So since I see you have something in mind you wanna go, and yeah, that like I said, that the thing is, um, I don't see enough to go not in a too different direction right now and have something other in mind that actually is not fleshed out in any by any means now. So I'll stick out there, but I said yeah, I way bigger things I see for myself, and I kind of know how I work on them to make it better. That's so not true, but I at least think I know what to do for now. And the thing is, it's not coming up with new creations in new directions until I kind of satisfied with stuff that is needed, especially when it comes to stuff like gameplay and overall design. So now that's bad, that's really bad, but not too bad since yeah, that is still bad. But yeah, at least I solved this tower problem for it, so they look way better now. Like I said, this clunky blocks on blocks thingy is a nice basic and can somehow work, but well, if you want to have them look like a casted shadow in the back, so with absolutely no details and stuff like this. That's the title for a map, Mega Deathy, so that's so funny. Blackwell just published a playthrough of Mega Deathy instead of episode. Question is it any good? Or is it any special, better said? That's the thing. Or is it special because it is a solid map? That's the thing. It hasn't to be special, it has to be solid. I can't even really say what makes a map good in my opinion, since I'm a defender of preset use, a good use of presets, so the standard modules, even the oldest ones, I really enjoy them kind of the most, since the basic layout of them is really good gameplay wise, and the base feeling is a really good one. As long as you implement all what is needed, beginning from sound to light to everything has to be just worked out correctly, and you get an optimal map. Does not have don't need too much in one direction, you can say. So too much decoration, like I do most of the time, is too much. It's not necessary. Too less, it's the sweet spot. The geo has to the area has to be kind of looking functional, and the connected the mix of modules has to be right and kind of feel to make any sense. Kill makes nice, interesting maps. They are very basically these go like in this direction. For example, for combat is functioning, challenging, not so much, but functioning, and definitely not boring, and diverse enough in between and stuff. And the way he uses modules, so which one he connects to each other, and what's the route through the facility and stuff, kind of feels right in a way. Yeah? So when it comes to foundry things, the modules in before and how he used them and stuff have always a real solid feeling. Yeah, it feels right. It feels like it's meant to connect it like this in a way, you know. And that's really hard to pull off, to get the right mix of all basics in a way. And like I said, sound environment and light environment is a thing that can change your map from day to night, literally. Funny joke. I mean, what I see now is this. Let this be here, since we started already. This. I mean, this little slightly raised one here can be there. I mean, I could put on my stamp again already. I did it already too. So if you wonder, yeah, there's one thing you actually always will see if this map is made by me, and that's this here. Since the funny thing is, yeah, and it's even better, yeah. And the thing is, this is actually the rune of Dazed and Confused. And the more fun thing is, yeah, this is actually my symbol I always use in my maps. If I use a symbol, it's this one. And that's not only one, it's doubled, yeah. It's doubled and twisted, yeah. It's double twisted, Dazed and Confused. Perfect fitting for me, in a way. So I really had to laugh when I saw which of the rune symbols I choose to use for my own. It's actually Dazed and Confused. And I totally agree. I really do. And like I said, it's not only once, it's twice, and it's completely twisted around again too. But yeah, that's when it comes to, if you search a marking of my maps, yeah, then you most likely, most of the maps, there are very few that don't have the symbol inside in any spot. So, and that's the most obvious. Very few when I use another one. And since it's so nice, since yeah, you have this, and if you turn it around, it's perfectly aligning the one rune cycle into the another in the middle, and you definitely get this one. That's the thing, and that's what I choose for me, and very soon, and said, okay, this is my Doom map symbol I place on to stamp my maps. And orange, glowy orange and dark settings in a way, so most likely if you see the orange lights, yeah, it maybe has to do something with me. I wanted to go to green, that's why the demon penetration, my real first, you can say classic textured, or not classic textured, modern textured map, had all the green lighting was, I wanted to go in a black and green style in the beginning. Since black and green even was more my color in a way, but it came with the next map, which was the neurotransmitter and the big area with the last area didn't work in green the same way it worked with the orange, and then I stuck to the orange light and black environment in a way, and kept it true to my the style of my maps, and yeah, it really translates in most of my maps. So, and yeah, that's the thing. I like the combination so much that I stay in my comfort zone and really stop to get creative on the color texture department, which is the shame. And I blame myself all the time for this, and always want to go out of it. This was the next try, for example. Yeah, I really wanted to stick to the color, but yeah, it's 4 a.m. You have to work on Sundays. That's bad. Yeah, you go. Then have a good night, and yeah. I see what I do here, and what I will come up, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Oh, thank you, man. That's nice. Yeah, yeah. It's weird building stuff. It's weird building stuff and philosophizing about stuff around. And show the world what SnapMap can do if you want to do. I know Snap I could take each decal list. I thought I'd do it like this, since I have to change this anyway since it's not aligned right now, see. But yeah. That's the thing with play around, and it's thought, it's training, you know, it's placement training. Yeah, if you can do it like this, yeah, your placements will get better. Your skills in placing stuff. Yeah, okay, I will see it's the newest one we publish. Yeah, I check that out later on. So in between, I mean, maybe make a break in a few anyways, since but on my side it's 11:30 a.m. and I get hungry, and yeah, streaming since 8 o'clock already is again, and I have to force me for some breaks in between, I guess. But yeah. So now, that seems okay. Yeah, most of the time. Okay, have a good one, and don't get stressed in the work tomorrow. Sunday work. I mean, I worked on gastro too sometime, and okay, but there's then good stuff to eat and things like this, or I don't know, but Sunday work. I'm really no religious person, but my weekend got really holy for me since I started working, and it gets even more over the time. There is no such thing than work than the weekend. What the fuck? Where are my TV controls right now? There you are. My TV is leaving me. Why? That's the thing. Alright, that's the thing. Now the meaning of blind playthrough gets another topic here. That's cool. See you too. Would you please do me the favor? Here you are. Much better. Seeing everything helps. So the thing is, now we have the towers. Now the towers should be better visible from down there, I guess. Let's see. They were nice, but too small. The outer wall is too high. That's not good. So there was no point for the look of the towers, and now they are very tight in wide shape, in shape, and so they have to be way higher to get a bit of a feel of proportions for the whole map. So I mean, if I could, I would make them double the size in each direction, which would make it even more impressive, which is a point I can consider later on too. But yeah, it's the background, so we don't want to put too much effort in the background when the gameplay is not existing actually. I need to change the music back, so I choose my samba version for it more. Whoa. You have to switch the lights just a bit for the garden, maybe? I'm not sure. Let's see. And the shaking is bad. Yeah, it's too heavy. Uh-oh, Baron incoming, Baron incoming. That destroyed him very bad here. I mean, we have a blocking function too now. I implemented the parry made by Terratella too. But the problem is it's working for the first or the second shot of the monkey boost, but not for both, since the refresh is too hard, which I may optimize a bit too then, because I managed once to block one but not the second one, and if you can't block both, there is no real use for it, since 40 damage is too much. Ooh. Explosions! Yes, explosions. If that's not such a cool power you get here, and then I don't know what. I mean, the shaking is too hard at the moment as a downside, but the power you have, the shots get, is ridiculous. And okay, the big explosion is a bit too much too, but the smaller ones on this look actually really badass. I may look inside this effect a bit more, and maybe I'm able to tweak it for myself a bit. We will see. Right, zombie man, right. My little endless zombie man. And so yeah, the door is away. Yeah, these are cool. Somehow. So the towers, yeah, that's the thing. So tower height feels alright. Ducking through the skybox already, or am I too big right now? Borders could be a bit different, I guess. Oh, it's okay. Ouch. Stupid zombie. No, it's okay. And this is the other version, this is this version. Yeah, why not? That's okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. I definitely take it. Much improvement to the towers before. That's way better. Yeah. Is this? Okay, that's the thing he made. Orb explosion, any AI without a damage. Cause the orb explosion looks way better. No, the orb explosion is the big one, right? Oh, which one is the orb explosion? No. Is the accumulator explosion the big one, or is this the small one? I'm not sure right now. When it comes to hazards, I'm not. Need some reminder. So, the accumulator explosion is the big one. And the other one is the, where is it? This one, that's the orb explosion, which I really like, and you won't see it too much. The other one is pretty dominant, but okay. I mean, the good thing is we don't have this firework explosion sound in the background, since that's not the best one. Oh god. Power! My pet needs power. Thank you, power. So wait, isn't that the camera thingy should be somewhere here to right? Nope. 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 No, that's just what happens to the enemy. And that's for the health bar. That's the other option. And this is movie stuff. Enabled ability. Nope, the ability settings are on there, right? So overlook the ability. Ah, here you are. Get shaky, shaky. That should be enough. Yeah, we don't need the sound. We have too much sound anyway. So that should be better. Definitely. I mean, it's less. So less always is better when it is too much. I would say, right? Right. So yeah, we get it immediately. So don't crash on me since I played around with the settings of the logic. That's the thing. Never touch things you don't really understand, or at least don't know how it really affects stuff. I mean, I know how to change the settings for quaking and stuff, which I use way too less, since especially these camera shakes and stuff, you really can make a feel of you using an elevator and stuff just for a short little shake, which really feels like you come in or went down an elevator and stuff. Or you wanna tease a real big enemy and make some mowing and let a real slight shake of the environment of the camera will really make it feels like there's a big one again next room or somewhere in this area. It's even better, you never will see the big roaming monster, especially in SnapMap, since it more or less will be ridiculous in a funny way, most likely. Yeah, better. have to change the monsters here. The placeholder Mankibai are ridiculous. But I really enjoy and love the Mankibus, and we have to celebrate him as long as we have it, since Eternal Ones looks even more badass, of course, since he's way more the original. But now I got used to this version here, and I really learned to love the design of it, since it has amazing alien-like evil textures. The one-eyed thing is the only thing I kind of found weird in the first place, but the overall look of the 2016 Mankibai is really cool. Not the Cyber Mankibus, no one loves the Cyber Mankibus, and if you're, then you are a really strange person. Bad monsters. And I will miss these classic looking barons of can't move cause I'm up there. Da -da. Da -da -da -da. Ah, this little ledge is helping me stand on it, that's cool. Jump pads, you can bring so much dynamic into your map with jump pads. Freaking Revenants are crazy though. And very functional in Snapmap, of course. They are so unpredictable, they don't know what to do and what they do, and actually accidentally do the right things so often in custom trio maps. That's crazy. You are crazy, my friend. Thank you. Let's jump at me. Bye. There was one. Here you are. Movement speed is ridiculous, but it makes the module even more functional. A good thing, right? Right. Oh, that was not catch the bullet. Let's see. Yeah, got one, but yeah, the thing is, yeah, the second one is not working. Can parry two shots right up after each other. Ooh. The last part of the old colors in here. Ooh, this light is shining cool. Alright. We're getting somewhere, I would say. I mean, it needs stuff, but we want to go to a lava object here in a bit, so in parts at least, so we may pull that up too. That should be everything alright. Yeah. Do I have that? No. Where is that? Let me see. Now that every enemy is gone, I can see how I like the shakings now. So still pretty thick. It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong still. I mean the offset is pretty high, so lower the offset, so then it's more slight shivery. Max shake scale. I mean the shake, okay. I mean, but not happy but happy. That's not good. Not good. So that could be better, huh? Guess. Maybe this is better now. Hopefully. Alright, I have got big map on playtest today too, so there's one guy on the Reddit that made some campaigny map, he says, with much exploration. I hope so. And one life, which will make it even more interesting. But yeah, maybe it's manageable. Or maybe I'm lazy as I'll always be and download it and pull on the God mode and don't think about dying so much. I'm not sure. Depends on the map. I mean, challenge is cool, but fun is way more important. But I would see, I'm kind of curious though. I mean, the feedback I've read so far is there could be more, but sometimes too much, doing too much is not always the best thing. So it's the right mix of placing stuff and overall flow that makes the music. So even though I am someone who is building custom geo as much as on most of the thing, only this is a way better shaking, I would say. This is a shaking. Now it feels like I'm so on power that I can even start to shake. I think this is more the feeling he wanted to create than the other one before. We need some fire rate here. Thank you. Now I'm shaking cause I'm powerful now. That's cool. I guess this is what he will like too. Yes. The right use of jump pads, use it like a trap. Yeah, that's way better. There is something, but it's not disturbing like it was before. That's way better. This is manageable. More for the show than for any negative effects. So that's cool. Yep. Alright, that's cool. Yeah. that's more what I like. Oh, I guess what was the intention behind it. So good. So the thing is, I make it. I try to save, which can take time, and also make a break for a few, maybe half an hour. I don't know exactly. Maybe less, maybe a bit more on the stream, and get some food and some else. So I say thanks for watching for now. Like I said, maybe later have fun, join by, and yeah, bye.